Yeah, and then Corning Community and the BOCES. So table 2's got some more stuff that'll probably be added into that. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. Common identifier. There was some questions about using the identifications. I did answer that question. Realistically, the career centers have to use the logo, so everything we do will have those logos on it somewheres. And then really, you should probably read the technical advisory. And if you want some additional technical advisories and information as to whether you should or shouldn't be using the branding, I can provide that to you. Or you can ask up your respective state agencies' chain of command. See if you should be doing that. Section 3, career services delivery and coordination. The bulk of Section 3 are really the definitions of the pieces, with the real work being done down here on this dreadful table 3. Is that top of table 3? Yeah, it's table 3. This is a great table. It's just very unforgiving. So going through it, we have adult, we have dislocated work and youth done. I've got to confirm with Phyllis on the adult ed, the Access VR, and the Commission for the Blind. Wagner Pizer has provided their information. SCSEP was provided. TAA, UI, and Vet E&T were all good to go. CTE, Jeff, do you have a table 3 for me for the CTE program, or can you email that to me?
I got word that ours should be exactly the same as the last MOU. Do you have access to that, or do you need us to send it to you?
I have it. So CTE is same as last.
Yes, there are no changes.
Okay. Then I will update that with that information. We do not have an INAP program in the area. Jeff and Patricia, I got your information on the MSFW. CSBG E&T funds. So I got some questions here because I've got some kind of discrepancies in my mind. So I got ProAction's CSBG answers, and I've populated this column with that. I don't have Andrea Ogunwumi's yet, so I'll be getting hers. Pathstone, Jeff and Patricia, I got an E&T thing for a CSBG E&T from you. I don't think it was supposed to be for us. I think it was for a different area, because I don't think you do CSBG E&T in our area, do you? Or do you? Do you or don't you? Do you expend
CSBG with a farm
funds?
worker? If it's dealing with a farm worker, we have the ability to use CSBG funds. And Jeff was getting ready to speak up, but it has to be dealing with the farm worker population. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I was just going to say we have 2 things that would benefit you. There somehow could be reflected. We have a statewide toll-free hotline number that would be beneficial, I think. And we also have, as Pat said, in cases where we have somebody there who we don't have maybe a direct support mechanism, we do have funds where we can get them to where we do have a direct mechanism, or we can try to hook up services there. We haven't had very many of those requests because most of them apply to migrant workers who are moving to somewhere.
Okay. So if we include you as offering services under CSBG employment and training, I'm going to have to add you as a signatory and a point of contact for those programs further up. So if you want, I will add you in those above contacts, and that will be I just wanted to double check because I wasn't sure you guys did CSBG E&T down in our neck of the woods. So if you want me to include that, I will, and then just update the form accordingly.
I think it's probably at your discretion, because it's not very often that we are called upon to do that. We have CSBG statewide migrant and seasonal farm worker funding, but it's very, very limited. So
given that, and I'm just for expediency, and I don't want to make a decision for your program. I want to be clear on that. I really need you guys to decide, but for expediency, if it really is tied to the MSFW program and you would only bring it to bear in those cases, do you want to make?
Don't add it. I would say don't include it, because we would make the decision based on what the situation is with the individual. So.
Okay.
I go with Pat's thought there. I think that's fine. And it also means less editing at this point.
God bless you for that one. The less editing, the better. The less typing Dan has to do. So thank you, Patricia. I think you're wise on that. I concur. So I will not include your CSBG ENT. So what you see currently is the ProAction one. So ProAction, so you're aware, I will need to get Andrea and EOP's table 3. Because I'm not able to add columns to this, I do need to synchronize when I have multiple providers in a single column. So I may need to have a special call with ProAction and EOP if there are discrepancies between some are offering, some are not, or just to make sure that we can kind of agree on what goes in that column. If that's okay.
Sounds good.
Again, if I could add columns, I would do CSBG ProAction, CSBG EOP, but I'm not able to do that. So HUD ENT, we don't have it in the area. I was, praise be, able to get a hold of Lee Dillon from over in Tompkins County, who the state had us listed, or had her and her team listed as providing HUD ENT services, and they do not, and she had no idea why she was on ours, and apparently believes it was a typo because she's getting phone calls from WIBs all over the state. So she just sort of stopped responding to him. But I did chase her down and we got her, and it is confirmed. So we do not have any HUD ENT programming in our area. As noted before, we don't have the Second Chance program. Job Corps. So Job Corps, are you on the call still, or did I lose you?
Nope, I'm still here.
Yep, there you go. There's John. So Job Corps, do I have a table 3 for you, or could you get me one?
Table 3.
Yeah, that's this thing right here that we're doing.
Yep. I can do that.
Okay. So just go to the website, look at the template. You can just kind of use the definitions that are above, figure out what are those that you do, fill in the table, and then just sort of print and scan just that table and shoot it to me and or Melissa, and then I'll get that fed into this document.
Okay.
All right. We don't have any youth build in our area. So TANF ENT, because I have 3 TANF areas, I've got a little bit of a snafu. So Schuyler and Chemung, you guys concur with your services. Steuben County adds a couple extras. So Steuben County had on their first cut that they do eligibility for Title I, that they do UI information and labor market information. Otherwise, there was agreement between all 3 programs. And I don't want to speak for you, Catherine, and your team. My question is, I think maybe those 3 things, while they are provided, I think they're provided through the ProAction team and through that subcontractor, specifically in the career centers and whatnot.
Yeah, and you can make ours match with Chemung and Schuyler. We talked about it.
Okay, all right. Because I think we do capture your guys' services through the ProAction, CSBG, and all the other things that they're doing across the board. But if we could not do those, it would simplify it greatly. And then we could go with what we have on here.
Yeah, that's fine. You can match. Yeah, just match what Schuyler and Chemung have.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So that being said, we've got a little bit of homework to do on this, but otherwise, table 3 is really pretty darn close to being done. So really, we're getting now down into the meat and where we really. Was their homework, if you will, was to kind of look at the verbiage that was thrown out there for referral of system customers. So I haven't had a chance to kind of look at it and ponder it. Are there suggestions, amendments, changes, deletions, additions that the, partnership wants to propose to this?
The only thing that I could think of is for Pathstone that we do add the 800 number as well as state that we do it by referral and we would contact the individual. So if in fact a person has done farm work, so I guess there's a question that has to be made. We get the referral and then we would definitely contact the person. All of our offices have vehicles, Zoom, everything. So we're prepared.
Okay. So what we do locally, Patricia, to kind of facilitate all that is we really use the New York State, the interagencies of the state agencies got together and they created this release of information form. And that's really the kind of tool that we use on referral of system customers. So my question is, I guess, are you thinking that the Pathstone doesn't really want to use the kind of the interagency release of information form as that, and you'd rather use phone numbers?
No, that's fine. I just wanted to share with you how we deliver services, and because we are statewide and several offices come to that area. So I just wanted to share, and then we do have an 800 hotline so that if someone was in trouble and was a farm worker, we would be able to facilitate assisting them with emergency services or housing for that period of time.
Okay. So my thought would be is to kind of still continue to rely on this statewide agreed upon form, and then maybe incorporate some additional educational opportunities where you and or your team could interface at the Career Center operational level, and then make sure those centers are aware of the names of the staff, the emails, the various ways, the 800 numbers, et cetera, that they could get a hold of you. But in terms of the MOU, kind of stick to this. Okay.
That sounds great. We could actually
fine.
even make a sheet up for that we could share with you.
Would love to do that. Yep. I know that in Steuben and Schuyler in particular, we got migrant folks coming around. So yeah, we should probably beef that up. So all right. So we'll stick, unless I hear otherwise, we'll stick with the verbiage on the referrals. And then Phyllis, are you on today? Yes, you are. There's a PB. Is that Phyllis? I think it is.
Yes.
Okay, so Phyllis, can you make sure that in the next round of the on-site management team meetings that we reach out to Patricia and make sure she's invited to them so that we can highlight their program?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. As far as the next area, confidentiality, we all agreed to not add any additional verbiage and stick with what the state agencies kind of drafted up on our behalf. Down on system access, oh, God, I hate this one. Sorry, it bounces all over the place. On system access, I had thrown down kind of a starting point for conversation. I'm not married to this language at all and promise not to be offended. The goal was to get kind of a aspirational type of statement reflecting some of the cultural things that are going on in society right now. Does anyone want to make some changes, throw that out and offer up some additional or replacement verbiage or deleting some of it or all of it? I'm really open to thoughts and ideas here.
Dan, I only had a small thing that I thought the first sentence could add after opportunity.
Okay.
Just small.
Add a small, say that again?
No, I'm just saying it's a small change. Like it says employment opportunity in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say their unique employment opportunity. I don't know if we want to include the world. But that's up to you. I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm aspirational, Laura. Come on.
I can see that.
We're going to change the world.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah. All right. I don't necessarily disagree. Again, I was kind of putting my aspirational creative sort of hat on. I'm not married to it. So Does the group want to kind of shorten that down to just so the first sentence would read on find their unique employment opportunity, and then it'll be period, and then on to the next sentence?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sorry for being too bold and brassy, everybody. I got carried away with myself.
It was a great dream, I thought, so.
Dan, can we go back to confidentiality, please?
Sure.
So you said the group agreed that we were going to go with the state release of information forms provided, but
Right,
I guess that wasn't part of that conversation. You sent additional language. Is that in your screen now, or is that we just eliminating that?
All right. So
additional language you sent.
So the additional language I was referring to is here in section 5. So section 5, confidentiality. These first 3 paragraphs are state language. In our initial meetings, the partnership agreed they did not want to add any additional verbiage, which is why it's not in, there's nothing in there. There is a little bit of a reference to some confidentiality up here in terms of referral. And that really is this piece right here. The document, which refers again to this release of information form, will serve as the foundation for our referral activities within our local workforce development system. And then really more of a statement, which is all security protocols related to PII and PPSI will be strictly adhered to, which is probably redundant with some of the stuff that's down in 5, and it certainly could be cut out. So that would be kind of the only 2 places where I might be being confusing.
So the language that you sent after our last meeting, the WIOA interagency release of information form was developed. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, that's right here.
Where is that?
So that language is section 4, referral of system customers.
Oh, up above. Okay, I'm so sorry. Got it. All right. It just wasn't clear where that was going. Got it. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
So that's okay. Confidentiality, we're not changing it. We're letting the state's language prevail on there, not adding in any of our own. And then number 6 was system access, which is really programmatically where we could add additional verbiage. And that's this first paragraph. I hate this form. This first paragraph here in section 6. Which reads CSS LWDA local workforce development area system partners envision a service delivery system that helps everyone find their unique employment opportunity. This means our system continually celebrates the diverse community. I forgot in that. You guys didn't catch me. I won't even let me put it in there. PHAT. I can't even add that. There's supposed to be a word called that in there. So it should read. This means our system continually celebrates the diverse community that different individuals cultivate. The partners commit to stay true to this mission by ensuring a system that can be anyone's system. I'm sorry, this drives me nuts. So that's so I need to add the word that in there, unless you guys want to leave it as written. And is there other thoughts, stuff we want to add in, take out? Otherwise, we'll move on down to some more fun and foofara. Anyone?
Go.
So hearing that, I will figure out when I retype it how to add in the word that in there. Applicable career services overall system operating budget. So this. I'm going to get the NOAs from our area, so we're behind on this. I forgot to ask Patty for ours. The Migrant Seasonal Farm Worker Program, do you have an average annual budget to support our kind of a breakout of what you, an average year, would dedicate, earmark, expend in the Chemung, Schuyler, Steuben area that we could plug in here?
One of the things that they had me do in the Niagara County budget item was to send what the one office in that area would have as their operating expenses. Jeff, do you agree with with one office or the 3 offices? I mean,
Well, I would think maybe more accurately, you may want to look at what's the average that you've spent in the last 3 years in that area and increase it by 5% and have that be reflect what you're talking about, because you don't have an office per se. You're working off the hotline and referrals.
Right.
Okay, can I get that to you no later than Tuesday morning?
Yeah, no later than Tuesday morning, pretty please, because we'll want to get this out to the counties for their legal teams to look at as soon as possible,
That'll be
early next
great.
week. Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Pat, I can help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
So adult ed got me 125. DOL got me just a touch over 2 million. I've got to go to Access and OCFS to get their numbers for the area. Those state level, I got the SCSEP national grant monies. CTE, do you have an idea of what you plug in here yet?
We do not, but we have asked the appropriate office at SED, and we're hopeful that they're going to get back to us on Monday.
Okay, Monday's a holiday. I mean, I'll still be working, so if you get it, still send it to me. But you may not hear from them until Tuesday or more. But
Okay.
thank you.
Right.
It's on
As
your
soon as we
radar.
get that, we'll get it to you.
Okay. The CSBG E&T, I have PA, that's Pro Actions, and I've got to get EOPs, which is the XXXX that's in there. So that's just kind of flagging that I need one more. We don't have any HUD. We don't have any REO. In the TANF, I have 142 for 984 for Skylar. I don't think I have from Tina or from Kathy from your teams, but it may be in an email that I just missed. Do you have like an annual TANF E&T budget, an average annual?
Dan, just so you know, this is Joanne and Skylar. We took our 2019 numbers just because 2020 has been so skewed with the COVID.
Yep. And that's perfectly acceptable. I mean, you really have the ability. They even say, look at the state and some of their guidance in Q&A even suggest looking at like an average of 3 years or something like that to come up with kind of a starting figure there. So I think you're safe with what you did.
Dan, are you there?
Yep.
441, 131. 444, 131. We sent that to you yesterday.
Did you? All right. I just missed it. So it's 441, you said?
444, 131.
444, 131. All right. And then Shimong, do you guys have a number?
Yeah, I thought Beth sent it to you, so I'll have to just look through my emails and re-forward it.
All right, please do. I was terrible going through my emails and trying to keep things straight. So I very well may have it, and I just am overlooking it. But what really, once we get that, and then Andrea's, and then we kind of close the loop with some of these others, we're going to be in a pretty good shape here. These are the numbers we're going to come back to in a year, and we're going to kind of look at them and just kind of refresh them in a year with, again, a kind of an average number. We're not going to be justifying back and asking anyone to justify or prove out these expenditures. That's not the goal here. This really is just kind of reflecting the total average annual budgets in our system in the area, showing that everyone who has a program in an area is supporting the system. Please don't be nervous or scared by putting those numbers in there, and don't think there's going to be an audit crew following behind. But a year from now, we will be kind of updating those with just maybe some new numbers. All right. And the infrastructure budget, this is the last area. These are those tables. I have, Sally, I have yours. Awesome. Thank you very much. I don't have all of the Hornell partner ones for the Hornell lease space yet, so I can't do Hornell. And I've reached out to the college to kind of close the loop on their various leases. Jeannie Eschbeck's out. She'll be back on Tuesday, and I'll be able to close that down. Once I have that, I'll be able to fill in those infrastructure budgets. Then, sorry, we did this last time and I didn't. So every 12 months, we'll come back to review the partner programs. local workforce development area. And then we'll that'll be our reconciliation and compare and contrast, and we'll converse about whatever that is enough to make sure that we meet whatever guidelines are required to meet the verbiage in here. And then as far as signatories, we have Jack Wheeler for the Local Workforce Development Board. And this is where, for signatures for the MOU, somewhere in typing this all in, I lost the link to add lines. So I'm going to have to go back and, let me save this. I'm going to have to go back in and retype everything that's in here, unfortunately, because I was only able to get in one CEO, and obviously we've got three. Jeff, I have you at Pathstone. The state tells me Phyllis will be doing it for all the NYSED administered programs. Stacy, I still don't know from DOL who's going to be signing for you guys. Do you have clarity?
I don't. After our last meeting, I did send an email up to see who that would be.
Okay.
So I'll follow up.
Okay. Derek wasn't able to join us today, but I have Derek as the signatory for the Commission for the Blind. We don't have any state. Laura, I have you as signatory for the national grantee. I was able to put you in for the CSBG E&T, but I lost the ability to add in Andrea. So I've got to figure out how to add her in. Actually, when I retype it, hopefully, if I don't lose the links, I'll be able to add her in. And then I've got Carl Blowers. I just want to reconfirm, Joanne, Carl is going to sign for the TANF, correct? So he'll actually be signing this twice. He'll be signing up here as a chief elected official, and he'll be signing down here also representing the TANF E&T for Schuyler County. Is that your understanding?
Our attorney wants him to sign everything.
Okay.
I don't sign any of our contracts.
Okay, fair enough. And then Kathy, you and your team, I have the same understanding is that Scott Van Etten is going to be signing both as a CEO as well as for the TANF E&T. Is that correct?
I don't know. I'll have to look into that because that's news to me. So I'll have to get back to you.
I may have misread some emails in there, but I thought that that was kind of.
Well, I know that's signing on as the CEO, but
if you want to sign for TANF E&T or have that authorization, that's fine. I mean,
yeah, I'll check with my boss and see who he wants to do it.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then Tina, is Chris Moss going to be signing both as CEO and for the TANF E&T, or is Brian going to be able to be a signatory? Do you have a clear understanding of that?
I believe Chris signs everything on behalf of Chemung County.
Okay, cool. So when I'm able to add those lines, I'll add those. So that's really where we're at. So we are remarkably close. For those of you who've ever done these MOUs before, since the beginning of MOU days, I got to be honest with you, I want to pat everybody virtually on the back. This has been remarkably smooth and whatnot. So here's what we need to do. By Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to be working over the weekend to kind of finalize and retype, and as many times as it takes to actually get a complete document. And then I'll be looking to get final tidbits of information. I will get it to each of the counties so that you guys can have your respective attorneys look at it. What we need to do is we do not need signatures. What I need is every partner's commitment that they will sign it once we send up the draft to Albany and the state agency legal teams look at what we put together and they say, yes, they will sign it. Does that make sense or not really?
It does.
So, all right. So we as local partners are going to look at it and say, yes, this is good enough for us. So we're then going to send it to Albany and say, okay, state interagency team, all your legal lawyers and everybody doing whatever on this. We've agreed to these terms. Do you also agree to these terms? If their answer is yes, then they're going to notify me, and then I will send out a document, and then we'll all be electronically signing in the various locations that we need to electronically sign. So I have to have the draft, not the full signatures, just the agreement that if the state agencies concur that we will get signatures, I have to have that sent up by February 20, I don't know my calendar here, February 20 something. All right. So our mission at hand when I get this to everybody next week will be, if you've got a legal team, if you've got a county-based committee or legislature, we need to review it and just get a commitment that, you know what, if the state agencies don't make a material change to this, you know, so I didn't capitalize something or a straight comma or, as long as there's no material changes to this, we will sign it. I'll need that concurrence from everybody by, at the very latest, February 20-ish. So everyone should have about a month from what we have to getting concurrence out there. If there are issues, we may need to come back. So if one of the partners, lawyers, legal team, or one of the county's legal teams, or something happens out there over the next few months, and somebody has a real challenge with what's in this, then we may need to convene again. Otherwise, my plan would be to do one final, everybody pat again the other person on the virtual back, and so that we can send it up and have met our obligations. Does everyone kind of understand what we need to do, or have any questions as to how we can proceed?
Dan, most of this document, 99% of it, the state already formulated. There's very little language that we added, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, other than those paragraphs on referrals,
right?
On what was the other one? Oh, the aspirational statement, and really kind of our budget numbers. But our budget numbers are estimates and averages. So I'm not sure. Our strategy was to really afford the state agencies very limited opportunity to say no. If we give them their own verbiage back, they can't really say no.
Well, I guess I'm just thinking, I know, like with our normal state contracts that we have, if the state has written it, our legal team usually does not try to change it.
Okay. That's good. Because if we need to, if I will tell you that I said in conversations, some of you have probably been in other trainings or other conversations, the state is not going to flex on the language that's in the template. That's why it's the template, and that's why they don't even let me play with it here. They're just not going to accept changes to that. So it's the immovable object in the room.
Deanne, this is Kathy again.
Yep.
Okay, so I went back to email and found on table 2 that we were identified, our location was identified under Skylar. It was an email you sent back to me, so that's where my confusion came in. Now we're gone, so we need to be on table 2.
Oh, your main office? Okay.
Yep, we were originally listed, so I don't know where it went.
I've retyped this document about 4 times because I retyped this document because it keeps dropping stuff off. So I probably just forgot to type it somewhere between one of those other ones and this one.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to go back to our initial work to make sure that I was right thinking that we should be on there. And then go ahead and identify me as signing on the TANF. And what I'll do is I'll confirm that with you. I think that's probably how it's going to go forward, though.
Okay. See if that buggers up the system. Oh, what happened? It just moved. God, I hate this. I'm sorry to feel frustrated and keep saying I hate this document. I've just where? I'm way back up to the top again. Sorry about this, everybody. It jumps around when I'm typing in it too. So Catherine Muller, Steuben County Commissioner, Department of Social Services. Okay. Anything else, anybody? Last minute, so I have Sal, you want me to add in the resources centers for yours. CTE, you on table 3, you want the same as last time. Steuben DSS will add in as a partner program site, your main office there in Bath, as to-dos, and then I'll add in some other stuff from EOP. And then there's a couple other things. Does everybody know what they need to do and the timeline on this? Is everyone feeling good as we can about it?
Yep.
I will
Yes.
tell you, just so everyone is aware, I'm good. I was on a WIB director's call today, and there are a lot of new WIB directors across the state, and they've actually been following our negotiations, to kind of the recordings and our meeting minutes that we post. I didn't realize it till today, but apparently we were kind of the hot technical advisory team. So as clustered as we felt going through this, we were actually providing guidance to other workforce areas. So congratulations, you're all famous. Just saying.
Ooh.
All right. Let me hit save on this before I lose it. Hoo-ah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. If you do work over the weekend, know that I'll also be working. So you don't have to wait till Tuesday morning. If you work on it tonight or tomorrow or Sunday or Monday, feel free to send me info and I'll get it plugged in. All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.